Welcome to my super tiny studio apartment in London. If you follow my YouTube channel, you saw I used to have an amazing creative space. I had an amazing studio, but this time I'm in central London. I moved, so I cannot have that property. I cannot have that studio for sure because it's way too expensive in London. So in today's video, I'm gonna show you the alternatives you can have if you don't have a photography studio like me right now. I have to leave all my studio gear in Spain and I was so sad about it, but to be honest, in London it's quite easy to rent a space, like an amazing space, to do photo shoots. This time I didn't need it and I'm gonna try to don't have to use it because, to be honest, you can manage in many ways. So that's what you're gonna learn in this video, and I'm gonna show you as well so many tricks to improve that portrait photography and make it more creative. So stay with me till the end. It was tremendously hard to record this video, guys, because I don't have a videographer, so I did have to record everything from tripods with 2 cameras. I don't have videographer yet, and I hope I can have it soon. I do have a Patreon community that you can join, and for as little as $3 you can support my work, and in exchange you will have exclusive content that I don't put in YouTube. And for just $3 you are supporting my work, just if you want, of course, in exchange of exclusive content. And when you are few of them over there, I'm gonna be able to use that money for a videographer in London because I really would love that. I have so many projects coming up, but I don't have videographer, so I'm gonna have to do it with tripod, and it's not the same because the image is a bit static. But anyway, let's go to it. So the first thing you have to think, if you don't have a studio, think who has a house around you that can work. Everything is valid because you just need a wall. A white wall is the main color you can have, and it's super easy to find a white wall everywhere. And then if you have some skills with settings and with creative ideas, you can create a nice photo shoot, creative one, and different vibes even if it's in the same wall, because so many people, they may have no ideas, and then in a white wall all the pictures look the same. But if you play with the outfit of the model and if you play with creative ideas, you're gonna end up with a nice portfolio for your model or whatever it is. So this time I was shooting for Annie. It's an international music artist. I always shoot with her and we love to work together because it's so much fun. I know what she likes, she knows what I like when I'm shooting, and we work really well together. She just signed with a new record label, so she needed more pictures. Normally I do every year new pictures for her. So we went to her house, and in just a white wall we managed almost the whole photo shoot. All you have to know is some ideas you can do to change the vibe. So for example, the first thing I do is break the ice, as I call it, and warm up, which is take some test shots to take the light and see what you have to change, like settings on the camera or maybe the surroundings, so it looks better. So do some test shots, ask the model to move. Personally, I love movement on my shots because the pictures are more dynamic. I don't like too posy pictures or too forced, because otherwise they're gonna look a bit cheesy. So I don't like that. So I always ask the model to move. So if you see here, you have the main light on the left in the window. So it was okay, but I use a field light I have and I love, you will see why later on, and I put it on the right to feel the shadows a bit more and be a bit brighter. So after trying this, the pictures came out very good, but they were like more normal. They weren't too creative, they were like really casual and they were really cool, but not the creative side I wanted to get. So then what I did is change the color of the light. This light is amazing because you can have it as a field light, like a flash, for video or for photography, and change the temperature, but you can have all the RGB colors of the light, which means you have a lot of colors to play with, and then you can put it wherever you want to create different shadows and be more creative. The first light we try is the blue one because I always love the blue, even though I use more colors afterwards, but I use the blue light, and as you can see, it's amazing the vibe it gives. You put it on the right. I don't like to put it in the front. I like to put it always on the right or on the left, on the side, to create a more edgy vibe. And as you can see in these pictures, they are amazing and I love them. They were all taken with the Sigma Art F1.4. I love this lens. It's my, well, not my favorite, it's not my favorite one. My favorite one, I'm gonna let you know later in the end of the video. But it's one of my favorites for portraits because the shallow depth of field gives you so much light, that creamy effect. In this kind of photo shoot, you don't notice that much for now. You will notice later, I'm gonna tell you why. But this portrait lens is very, very good for a studio and for outdoors. All of them are taken with this and with the 5D Mark IV. But you will have everything in the description below, all the equipment I use, all my equipment, and the field light I use because it's amazing and it's quite affordable. There is another light I have for a studio, and I think when I go back to Spain to visit, I'm gonna bring it with me because it's not too big. It's more or less like this, and it has more LEDs, and I have a light stand. It works with batteries, but as well you can plug it, and it's way much more powerful than this one. I'm gonna put it as well in the description below, and it's quite portable as well, so I'm gonna bring it. But for now, this tiny one, it was super good for the photo shoot. You're gonna see more shots right now. And then we carry on with the red color and a change of outfit. Always remember, like, you can play a lot with accessories from the model or with the outfit to change the vibe of the shot so they don't look all the same. So we put the red light and a leather jacket. I love leather jackets, I love this combination with the red light, and I love movement because I don't like static shots, as I told you. And then when you get the model in a static shot or a static pose, at least see what's on the move, and you can tell it's a bit casual, not that posed. So always ask the model to move, and don't forget to shoot quite fast if you are doing this, because otherwise the model is gonna be blurry. So shoot quite fast and catch the movement because that's amazing. And the next thing I want to talk about, guys, I think I'm gonna do a separate video about this if you want me to do it, so please comment below. It's double exposure from the camera. Now with the 5D Mark IV, I can do double exposure from the camera. Before I used to do it in Photoshop because I used to have the 7D and it didn't have this option. So in my Patreon account, you have an exclusive tutorial just for you guys if you go over there and join my community. And it's a tutorial of under 60 seconds where you can check how to do a double exposure in Photoshop or any program that works with layers. And it's super useful, it's super cool, and I love this effect a lot in my press shots I do for artists. But now I can do it from the camera. So you see here how I'm shooting with Annie, and I use the double exposure of the 5D Mark IV. So all you have to do is go to settings, put double exposure. As I told you, I'm gonna do another tutorial about this separately. And then you shoot from the live view of the camera. You take the first shot, and then you take the second shot with a different posture of the model. So if the model is looking to the left, take the first shot and then compose the second one with another pose, because it's gonna be over the other picture and it's gonna come out amazing. So this is an amazing trick, guys, to do creative stuff, and then you can put it in black and white and you can change the vibe, and you have already two amazing cool shots, which are different ones from the first ones with the light or the first one with the test shots. And then as well, what I use, I normally like to use a sandwich bag. I was asking Annie, do you have a sandwich bag? And she was like, what? So she didn't have one. So normally the sandwich bag, I can show you in another video as well, or maybe I do a story in Instagram to show you. But you put the sandwich bag here, the plastic, long enough to cover a bit the lens, but not too much. So because this lens, it has very shallow depth of field, it's gonna focus the model, but then it's gonna create a blurry feeling around it. And that's super beautiful, but I didn't have it. So I found this on my camera bag where I was having the light, and I managed with this to put it in front of the lens and shoot. And the results, you will see them now. They are amazing and they are super cool. You have to shoot with shallow depth of field to get this look. And that's another amazing shot in the same white backdrop, and it looks amazing, at least I love it. And in this particular outfit, if you realize, I put yellow light. Why? Because I love matching the light with the outfits, as I told you before. And in this occasion, because Annie is wearing a yellow shirt, I put the yellow light, and it looks super cool as well, guys. So this is another creative tip. Always match the lighting with the outfit of the model because it looks more cohesive and then the picture looks amazing. And to end this photo shoot, guys, we end up in his music studio, and she had an amazing sofa. When I saw it, I was like, I wanna take pictures in this sofa for sure. Forgive me for this frame. It's a bit cut on the bottom because I couldn't locate it properly. We didn't have too much space to record, but you can see she was on the sofa. I used the same fill light with a pink color. She put some glasses on, and we were trying different shots, and it came out super cool, guys. And then in this shot I put more depth of field so I could make the scene darker, and there is another vibe of the picture. You can see it was the same location, but the picture is way much more moody and way darker, and we have another press shot which is another kind of feeling, and we end up with all these pictures in her house with just one white backdrop and just her music studio, a sofa. So whatever you can find in the house, guys, use it. A sofa, a nice chair, I don't know, whatever you can find, decoration, maybe some walls, they have some texture which is interesting. So you don't need a photography studio, but make sure you have the right equipment and you have light. That's the most important part of photography, have good lighting. And mine, the tiny one, is just right here. As you can see, I have like a yellow filling on my face. So this is the tiny light I use. I use it for video as well. There you go. And you can see the color. I saw it in a video before. You can go through it. But yeah, this is with the light. And then if you switch it off, you can tell a lot the difference. But for video, it's very good. You see? So for videos, for photo shoots, this light is super useful, as you can see. And I'm gonna put it back to how it was before, more or less. Yeah, there you go. So I finished this video with all these tips, and just to tell you, don't be discouraged if you don't have a photography studio, because I was the first one. When I lost what I had, I was like, wow, how I'm gonna do all my press shots for artists which are in a studio without a studio. So I'm gonna manage in places, in my place, in their place, or in other locations, friends' houses is more than enough, guys. And then when I have big projects coming up, the good thing about being in London is like I can get like amazing studios and I can rent them off by hour, and I always can manage. You always can rent a studio if you need, but if you cannot have it, use a wall. You don't need more than that, as you can see. Please subscribe to my channel if you didn't yet. That supports me a lot, because in London I'm so bloody busy, like it's so hard to cope with the videos, and I spend a lot of time with them, and I really hope you enjoy them. And I will see you very soon. Comment below what do you think about it, and if you have more creative ideas, I would love to hear them, and see you next week. I'm sorry. I told you before, I'm gonna show you in the end of the video which one is my favorite lens. This one is my favorite lens. It's the Sigma 105 f1.4. It's a beast of a lens, it's massive, it's heavy. My back suffers a lot when I carry it with me, but for me it's worth it because it's my favorite lens ever. I think I'm gonna do one day one video outdoors so you can see how it paints, because literally when you are shooting a portrait with very shallow depth of field and with this optic, which is massive, it creates like such a creamy effect in the background. So if there is leaves or I don't know, plants, whatever background, like a lot of background, it's gonna be super creamy and super beautiful. So yes, guys, this one is my favorite lens, and the second one is the one I showed you before, which is the 35mm. This one I shoot the last shots with this, the ones in the sofa. The rest of the photo shoot is done with the 35mm. Thank you so much, guys. Now yes, bye.